Now, live from KUSI, this is Good Business San Diego. Sponsored by Wilsey Asset Management.
Hi, I'm Roy Robertson. Welcome to Good Business San Diego, where we talk to local business leaders about their commitment to our community. And the following segment is brought to you by ELDA Developments. Today we welcome back Ahmed Eldami. He is the CEO of ELDA Developments, a company whose mission is to shape the future of urban living in San Diego with vibrant, sustainable communities where people can connect, thrive, and truly feel at home. Ahmed joins us again today to talk about his company's vision for the next generation of housing in San Diego, and we'll talk about the progress on an exciting new community in the heart of the city. And good news on that front, right, Ahmed? Things are moving, right?
They're moving super fast. Excellent. We had a little bit of rain happening last week. We got through it, didn't delay the schedule. We're still shooting for about 2 to 3 months ahead of the schedule to get the building ready for beginning of the year, January 2026.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I'll talk about ECB Residences in just a second. That's what we're referring to. Tell us, first of all, though, about ELDA. What makes it unique in this marketplace?
So ELDA Development started 2013. We did start as a real estate fund. We started taking a look at the big issues that we have with our housing system here in San Diego. We had outdated infrastructure. We did have a little bit of high prices, high home prices, high rental prices.
Right.
Everybody was complaining. A lot of people were thinking of moving out because of how can they having a hard time affording, yet they want to live in San Diego. They love San Diego.
Right.
And we found the niche that we're trying to have a design that lower the housing cost in terms of production. And this is how we've been doing it. Only in 2025, we finished 4 projects, and moving towards the 5th, we'll be done with 5 complete projects as of 2025.
This is awesome. So let's talk about the one that you were talking about in Normal Heights. This is ECB Residences.
That is correct.
Okay, so things are moving along really well. Give us a progress report as to when people are actually going to be moving in. Is it going to be first part of next year for sure, but maybe even earlier than you'd anticipated?
We're working now on the model units. The model units should be ready within 2 or 3 weeks. People would be more than welcome to go in, as you see here, to take a look at one model furnished unit, right?
Okay.
And after that, or before even, now we have the applications are open on ecb-residences.com.
Okay.
And ecb-residences.com, they can put in the application. We have the market rate units, and we have the affordable units. Now, what we take right on that we give both experiences, exact experience for both market rate and affordable units, right? So we have an affordable unit in each floor, so there is no difference between market rate and affordable. And we're hoping that we will have our place ready for people to enjoy beginning of next year.
So this is opening it up to the people that you were talking about that, you know, a couple of years ago, considering San Diego were like prohibitive and had to move because of the expense, but you're bringing it back into their range.
We're bringing it back. The rent prices are going to be way more affordable than the rest of the communities around.
Yeah.
We showed our business plan to a lot of landowners around, and believe it or not, we have 2 lots next to our lots in negotiations now and getting under contract to develop for 2026 and 2027. People are excited about it. They're happy about the coffee place. They're happy about Sprouts coming to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
This neighborhood is going to change. In a couple of years, hopefully we'll be sitting and talking about it, and you will see how the rejuvenation and how improving this neighborhood is going to come to effect.
That's the exciting thing about this development in particular and the surrounding areas, how well it fits in to the community. And I know that it's a whole lifestyle issue that you want to be able to bring to people. It's not just a place to live, it's a community to live
100%. We care about the whole living experience. We don't think about just fitting in boxes or having room counts or unit counts that unfortunately most of the developers had to go that route because of the high construction cost and the high cost of development.
Yeah.
We care about the whole living experience from the moment they enter the building, making sure that 100% of the units are accessible or I would say ADA adaptable. We make sure that they have their coffee place or convenience store close by. We make sure there's a community area where they can develop these connections and have that sense of community. We make sure that there is a Wi-Fi or data that covers the whole building. We care about these little small things that make a difference in their lives.
Just really smart urban planning.
We try.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Thanks, Ahmed. Happy holidays to you.
Happy
More information online at eldadevelopments.com, and we will be right back.